Welcome back. I hope you're all having a lovely day. It's been a busy week, and I know you're probably watching this on a Thursday, but it really throws off the alliteration if I call it the Thursday news, so we'll make this a quickie. First off, before the news, I want to thank my friend Simga, seen here in this photograph, for helping redesign the channel art here. The intro will be updated similarly next week, and speaking of next week, I've changed my work schedule so that these will get produced on the Tuesday and uploaded on the Wednesday instead of what I currently do. Should help things be more consistent. Anyway, on to the first bits of news. South Korean diplomats have travelled to Pyongyang for rare talks inside of North Korea on Monday and have agreed that the two country leaders will meet at a summit in April for talks, the key theme of which is scaling down nuclear tension and militarization. Excellent stuff. Feels like the first time in a while where dialogue between the countries has been consistently positive. Briefly, I'd just like to mention SpaceX has now had 50 launches of the Falcon 9 to date, their most successful and affordable rocket, and have their sights set on even greater heights. Gotta love them. The next piece of news is a delightful story of quick thinking to save a life. On a flight to Jamaica from the US, a woman went into a respiratory arrest mid-flight, her breathing getting worse and worse. Two physicians who were passengers jumped to her aid. They asked the flight crew if they had any resuscitation equipment, but there wasn't any, and they were a long way out from an emergency landing. Not giving up, however, they too rigged one of the oxygen masks and an oxygen tank into a makeshift pump together to create their own oxygen pump, and while this was prepared, CPR was performed to keep them breathing. 45 minutes later, the plane landed and the woman was rushed off by the medics, surviving the ordeal, having been given oxygen by this makeshift creation. If you'd like to read the whole story, head to the article below, but I'd like to add that ordinary people like you and me can be heroes too, and I'd recommend to anyone to learn CPR and basic first aid. It can be learnt in a day and it's wonderful. Two short bits of news to finish things off. First, the son of a woman suffering from Alzheimer's had praised the supermarket Sainsbury's for continuing to employ his mother for up to 5 months after a medical exam rendered her unemployable. Having been diagnosed in 2013, they continued to give her jobs and tasks to do long after her condition deteriorated up to the start of this year. Her son stated this gave her a sense of pride and self-worth and hailed the store for going above and beyond. Conditions like Alzheimer's are incredibly disheartening, but stories like this warm my heart. Second, and lastly, a study from the University of York has found that the daft voice we use to talk to doggos, like "who's a good boy," is actually very helpful and key to building a relationship with the pet, similar to how baby talk works. You can read the full findings in the article below, but I feel justified for all the silly dog language and phrases I use to convince my dogs to do stuff. And of course, here's Doggo of the Week, a fine example of patience and adorableness. Have a good week, everybody.